What is going on, YouTube? Welcome back to another PS5 game review. Today we are reviewing Kena Bridge of Spirits. I repeat, Kena Bridge of Spirit. It is a game developed by Ember Lab and Indie Studio. This is the first video game ever. It is currently right now $39.99 on the PlayStation Store. Also available on PC if you wish to get it. Let's talk about this game, okay? From the get-go, I'm gonna tell you guys, I recommend this game. Maybe not at the price. I won't say maybe $39.99 is the ultimate price that you will want to pay for it. If you're not into this type of games, I would say for 30 bucks, it is a great game. But for $40 to me, I think it was worth it. It is a great game. I will explain to you why right now. So first, let's talk about the story. So the story is basically that you play as that girl that you see there with the staff. The girl's name is Kena. She is the daughter of a spirit. If I believe her father passed away, and basically she wants to go on this mission to free the other spirits to be the best spirit guide in all of the city, right? So then to free the spirits, you have to go through all these challenges and defeat all these enemies to free the island of all the demons and all the bad things. And then you explore and you start freeing the spirits, and then you find out more about yourself. There's also these little animals called the Rot, which they help you in combat and they help you in the story to get along with freeing the spirits. So that's basically the story. It is very simple. It is not too complicated of a story. It doesn't have a bunch of twists and turns. A couple of twists, I will say for sure. Remember guys, all my reviews are non-spoilers. The gameplay that you see is only in the first couple of hours of the game, so do not worry about spoilers. So without further ado, let's keep moving into the other categories of this game. Let's talk about the graphics. So graphics wise, it is really good. Okay, the game does look beautiful on the PlayStation 5. I have not tried it on the PlayStation 4, but I'm pretty sure it does look very neat. So graphic wise, of course, you have your performance mode. You have your fidelity mode, if I'm not mistaken. I went straight into the 60 frames per second option on the PlayStation 5, which is what I recommend literally to everybody. It is very, very smooth. I would say not as smooth as PS5 exclusives such as Miles Morales and Ratchet, but it is still very, very smooth. So I totally recommend playing on performance mode all the time, especially for this game. It is really, really good. It still looks beautiful. Now let's move on to the sound. So I play the games when I stream with the PlayStation 5 headset, the Pulse 3D headset. The sound in this game, to me, it is incredible. The soundtrack to me really stands out of everything. Out of all the sounds, the soundtrack is always right there in your face, to the point where I thought sometimes that the soundtrack is a bit overpowering in some instances. Like you may be fighting and the soundtrack is just so loud that maybe you don't hear the combat as much, or maybe you're exploring and the soundtrack is just there too much. But it's not to the point that it gets annoying, because it's a really good soundtrack. Okay, so it's a really good soundtrack that gets you into the game. When you're exploring, it's exploring music. When you're fighting, it's tense music. It really fits everything that's going on in the game. So sound wise, guys, on the Pulse 3D headset, really good. I haven't tried it with like a soundbar of anything, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna sound great. Let's move on to the chunk of the reason we play games for, the gameplay. The gameplay, it is really simple. You got your light attack with R1, you got your heavy attack with the staff with R2. You get other abilities later on in the game that you can upgrade. It's not a deep RPG system, so don't expect Skyrim level of leveling up. You only get a couple of options to upgrade, which is fine to me. I think it adds exactly what the game needs. I don't think you needed more. You have a bow that you get an hour or so into the game. You get the bow. You have obviously your staff, and then you have the Rot. You have Rot abilities that when you can press R2 and square, for example, and do an ability, or you can press R2 and circle and do another ability with the arrow, with the bow and arrow, and so far and so on. The gameplay is super smooth. The dodging is nice. The blocking is nice. I have really no complaints for the gameplay, except for the fact that if you're a casual gamer like me, there are difficulty spikes towards the end of the game. So if you don't like that, then I suggest just to switch it to easy mode, which is what I did. Towards the end of the game just spikes up so hard that I'm like, I'm not doing this because I just want to get I want to get over with the game. I want to see what happens at the end for the sake of the stream. So I just switched it over to easy, and that was that. But the game does challenge you a lot. You will die a lot. Even on normal difficulty, it is challenging. So don't expect an easy ride. Expect to be challenged, and expect to have a difficulty spike towards the end. Okay, let's talk about the haptic feedback in this game. So the haptic feedback is not a big deal. Okay, yeah, you feel the steps here and there in the controller. You feel resistance in the trigger when you do a heavy attack. You feel resistance in the trigger when you pull the bow, but nothing that you're like, damn, I feel like I'm in the game. Not to the level of Ratchet and Clank. Not to the level, well, Miles Morales didn't have a bunch of haptic feedback, but I'm pretty sure Horizon and other future PS5 games will have haptic feedback as well. This one, not so much, but it's still, you still feel it a little here and there. Like I said, it's not an exclusive. It's not well, it is an exclusive actually, but it's not a PS5 exclusive. Okay, it's because it's also for PC and PS4, so they have to develop for those hardware too, which do not have haptic feedback on their controller. Okay, now let's move on to the length of the game. I beat the game at around 9 hours, close to 10 hours. I did not explore the game 100%. If you are the type of explorer, the type of person that likes to complete a game, I'm pretty sure it could take you 12 to 13 hours around there. A couple more, 3 more hours than it took me to complete it. To me, I think the game is paced super good. It has a very simple concept. You have to tackle on this area, kill the enemies, get into the next area. So it's a simple gameplay tactic that a lot of games use, but the pace is really good. The cutscenes are really nice. It's something for me. I wanted to get this game because it felt like something different. Like I wanted to get out of the violent games. I wanted to get out of the shooters. I wanted to get out of the crazy action adventure, the God of Wars, all of that. I wanted to get out of that, and I wanted to play in the game, and I wanted to play something new. So if you're into this type of game, I completely suggest that you get it. If you do want to wait for a sale, even better. I think it's gonna be even more worth it. But to me, $39.99, it's a really good price because it's a really solid game for a solid 9 to 10 hours that you're going to get. You're not gonna get bored by any means. You're gonna get hooked every single time that you're playing this game. There's never a downtime. You're always on your feet. You're always exploring. You're always discovering new enemies. New boss fights are coming at you a lot. Like out of nowhere, some big guy could just come up and that would be a boss fight. So
that was a big hit.
That would be the end of this review, guys. I think I covered it all. Overall, I give it an 8 out of 10. It is a really good game. It didn't get a 9 because I think it could have delivered a bit more when it comes to maybe the story. Give us more, even though the story is simple. Maybe give us a bit more of give us more abilities, give us more to explore, just give us more. But so far, for a first entrance into a new IP, for a first video game of a studio, it is a really good job. When it comes to bugs, 0 bugs, literally. Not 0 bugs. I'll say sometimes there will be a glitch where I won't pause the game. I'll go into the map. She's and I go back into the game and she's running, and there's like a little stutter when she runs. Other than that, the game is clean. There's no bugs. It plays very fluid. It has a very interesting story. Graphics are good. Overall, like I said, an 8 out of 10. I recommend it if you guys are into this type of game.
What a fast
and without further ado, thank you guys so much for taking a look at this review. I recommend Cannot Breach of Spirits if you have a PlayStation 5. And if you have a PlayStation 4 or PC, I recommend it. Thank you guys for watching this review with Gaming with G. Until next time, guys, game on, Gaming with G, signing out. Thank you so much.
How does the controller do that?